Hello guys, let's discuss about on new or updated file in file connector. Okay, so you could see here, right? So I have created a very simple application in order to show you the functionality of on new or updated file. Okay, so let me run the simple application. Okay, yeah. So I have created one folder on the desktop. Okay, and you could see the folder name as on new or updated file. Okay, so that is what I have configured here. Okay, here. Okay, now um, in this configuration you could see something like I have set the scheduling strategy as fixed frequency. So we'll have two things, one is cron expression, the other is fixed frequency. So for now I've taken fixed frequency. Okay, um, and also you could see frequency I have set it as 10 seconds. Okay, so you could see the time unit here we can set according to our requirement. Okay, now so I have configured this with 10 seconds. Okay, and I have chosen that file what I have shown you. Okay, now this got deployed. Let me clear this. Okay, um, yes. So what this does, generally you see here the name itself says that on new or updated file. So that means whenever a new file comes or a file that gets updated in the folder that we have chosen here, automatically this should be invoked. Okay, so you see here we have set frequency as 10 seconds, right? Okay, so now if I go here, this is the uh, folder I have chosen there, right? Now if I create something, for example I'm going to create hi. Okay, let me save this and I'll keep the file name as hi only. Click on save. Okay, oh sorry. Okay, it got created inside this. Let me delete this. Fine. Now I'm clicking. I have entered hi. Save as. Now go up and save in this folder on your updated file. Okay, I'm putting the name of the file as hi only. Click on save. See, we have created a file here, hi.txt. Okay, now let me clear this. So what happens? This particular uh, connector will poll the directory for every 10 seconds. Okay, so if you see in the console, in this logger I'm printing the payload. Okay, so you see here it is printing high for every 10 seconds, right? See, you see here it is like 36, 46, and next it will be like 56. So for every 10 seconds it is fetching the information. Okay, and printing that the same information whatever it has fetched. Okay, now let me clear this. For example, okay, let me keep it as is. For example, I'm going to create one more file. Click on this. Now I'll put something like hi hello. Okay, and I'll put the file name as hello.txt. Now what happens, you could see here, right, that now this time it will print both the files because it has found two new files. So you may be getting doubt. So this file connector name was mentioned as on new or updated file, but here it is always pulling the same information again and again from that folder. Okay, so why it is behaving like that? Because by default this is the nature of this connector. Okay, so let me clear this and uh, okay, let's ignore this thing. Okay, so you see here by default the nature of this connector is to just pull the information from that, and based upon the criteria whether your watermark mode is enabled or disabled. Okay, if you don't enable this watermark, okay, then it treats each and every file as a new file always for every 10 seconds. Okay, so in order to um, treat each and every file as a new file, we have an option like this here to delete the file as soon as you write the file into this directory. Okay, so if I click this thing, click on true, so this is nothing but post processing action, right? So once this particular flow is done with its done with the usage of this file, whatever it has listened from the directory. Okay, so what it does, it deletes that file, so that whenever you add one more file, it will become automatically a new file. Now if you see here, see there are no files here. Okay, and you could see in the console the files got deleted from that folder, and that is what uh, uh, that got printed here. One is hi, the other is hi hello. Okay, now so if I create one more file, let me click on no. For example, if I click on one more file, sorry, if I create one more file, let's say new file, the file content is new file, and I'll put the content file name as new file only, just like that. Click on save. Now what happens, as soon as the file is created, it will be deleted actually. There is no file here, right? See, it got deleted and it is printing the file content here. So this way, every time you create the file, it becomes a new file for that directory. So let me type something like um, new 2. Okay, so I'll put the name as new 2 only, or new file 2. Okay, so as soon as you, so when it is done with the processing, it will delete that. Yeah, it got deleted, right? Yeah, see, you could see the file content, you could see here, right? So so this way, whenever this particular flow is done with the processing of the file you have just created, it will automatically delete it, so that whenever a new file comes, it treats it as a new file automatically. Okay, I'm keeping it as false now. So that means um, once this processing action is finished by this flow, it won't delete the file, it will still keep the file in the same directory. Okay, now this is the normal thing, move to directory. So if you are done with the processing of a file that is there in this directory, you can move it to some other folder. So for that, they have given some configuration here. Okay, and okay, if you want to rename a file, okay, then you can rename it. This thing you can do, okay, in the same directory itself. Okay, you can even simply, without configuring this move to directory, you can simply put a um, rename. You can rename it, and simply that change will happen in the same directory. Okay, now what is this? So apply post action when failed. So so these are the two available options. If you see here, you we are getting some message, right? So whether any of the post actions, auto delete and move to directory, should also be applied in case of, in case the file failed to be processed, right? So this is an option, like for example, if this whole process failed, okay, so what you have to do, that is what the option is. For example, you do not want to delete that, the file, okay, the file which you is there in this directory, you do not want to delete that unless until you are done with the processing. Okay, for example, I'll set it as true. Okay, now apply post action when failed. Okay, click on true. So that means if it is failed, for example, I'm going to put raise error here. Okay, so that means I'm intentionally raising the error. So let me put something like this. This is the custom error. Okay, Now what I am doing, I am raising the error intentionally, right? For every 10 seconds, okay? Whether it finds a file in the directory or not, click on no, okay? It will automatically raise the error, okay? Now, I'll put, I have to create one new file in this thing. So let me create one. Um, I have created this thing. So in this folder, I'll put it as hello world only. Click on save. Okay. Now you see, we have created the file, okay? See, based upon our settings, see, apply post action when failed. So what you mentioned here, the boolean value is true. That is the reason whatever you set here, these two things, okay, it will perform that. So as you set apply post action when failed as true, it has performed this auto delete. Okay. For example, now I'm going to set it. So that is the reason you could not see the file in this directory, which we have just created. Okay. Now, okay, let me try one more time. So now let me show you one more time. It is deleted, right? So that's why we are getting this. Click on no. Now I'll create something like file to be auto deleted. Okay, click on save. So in this folder I'm saving. If you okay, we can keep this in parallel. Okay, see, let's say like file to be deleted. Okay, clicking on save. See, this will get deleted. See, it got deleted. Okay, so you are specifying what needs to be done. Apply post action when failed. So when it failed, it has deleted that. Now let me change it to false. Okay, so what happens this time? This will okay. So till now it has deleted the files, right? What we have created there. Okay. Now you see here, there are no files in this folder. Okay. Now let me create one more file. So file that will not be deleted. Okay. Click on save. So no delete. I'll keep it like this. Click on save. So now see, we got error, right? Okay. Because we have kept rise error here. But let's check if the file is removed or not. See, it is not removed. Okay, and every time it is assuming that a file is, I mean, new file is there. Okay, so this is what we can do with this post processing um, menu. Okay, now, okay, so let me delete this so that we'll not get any error this time. Okay, and also you see here, it is always considering it as a new file. So for every 10 seconds, as we already discussed, it will consider it as a file, a new file actually. Okay, so every 10 seconds it will print or okay, so that's how it goes on actually. Okay, so three, see here. So let me clear this now. Um, you see here something, we have something like matcher. So this is kind of filter actually before you pick the files from the directory. Okay, so I you are seeing this date, right? So I checked in the documentation, I did not find this thing. Okay, so what I did, I have removed this thing. Okay, click on save. Now every time it will log something with all the details like payload and attributes and etc etc. Okay, for every 10 seconds. Okay, because we have one file here and the polling is acting upon, right? So if you copy this thing, okay, so click on new, control V. So if you see here, um, you could see the attributes, right? So you see here last modified time, last access time, and creation time. Okay, so that way I understood. Okay, this is the way we have to mention that create time or uh, any kind of date expression in this configuration, date time expression in this configuration. Okay, so now let me copy this. Okay, this is like 57:21 seconds, right? Now let me copy this and paste here. Okay, now let me save this. Okay, it is getting deployed. Now you see, um, if see if the file is created after this thing, okay, then only it considers. Okay, if there is any file before this thing, okay, then it won't consider that. Okay, now let me update the time as something like 01 and 00:00. You could see the time here like that, right? Now you see here, once I save this, okay, now it will not consider that file, whatever it is printing in the console, it will not even consider that, because you see here, this file is created at 12:57 a.m. Okay, clicking on cancel. Now for example, if I create one more file now, so we have kept here the created since as 1 a.m., right? Now if I type something like new file, or else yeah, fine. Okay, clicking on save. Now I'll save it as a new file. Okay, click on save. Now you'll see that this particular this thing will consider the newly created file. Okay, so you are only able to see, you could see the file name as new dot file, right, which I have created just now. Right click and go to properties. You see here it is created, right? So let me simply keep it as payload, so that we'll see only the content. I'm clearing this. Yeah, okay. Now you'll see the content of that payload. New file, fine, right? And it considers it as a new file always for every 10 seconds. Okay, because we have disabled the watermark. Okay, yes, it is considering the same file as a new file again and again. Okay, let me clear this. Now you ignore this console. Okay, now let's so the same way, like you see here, we have something like these things. So if you would like to put daytime expression here, you put this way. Okay, and this particular option time unit is only applicable for these two things. Okay, you can play with these options. Okay, and these things even I need to explore. Okay, okay, fine. Now let me tell you what is watermark, how it works. Okay, till now we didn't enable the watermark mode. Okay, it was disabled by default. Now what if I enable this and set it as created timestamp? Okay, let me save this, and also let me remove this matcher. Okay, now you see here I have set it as created timestamp. Okay, so whatever is already created, okay, it will consider those files as new files for surely. That is first thing. So ideally this should print uh, the file which we have already created. Let me refresh. Okay, it seems like okay, it is considering from now onwards. Okay, now let me clear this. So we already have two files here, right? One, two. Okay, now let me click on new file and after enabling watermark mode. Okay, click on save. So um, I'll put some nice name. How should I put? I'll put nice only, simply. Now you see, now you could see that after enabling watermark mode, so only that file got picked up. Okay, and see, that means it has stored the created time actually. This once we enable this watermark mode, it has noted the created timestamp. Okay, now if I create one more new file. Okay, so I'll keep the name as uh, file 4. Okay, it's a typo here, ignore that. Now you see here, see, it is only considering the new file that you are creating right now. Okay, right? Okay, now for the last time, let me create one more new file. So last new file. So I'll create it as file 5. Click on save. So this time, because we enabled the watermark, right? So it considers only the newly created file. Okay, last new file. Okay, so if you wait for 10 more seconds, it will not consider any of the files as new files unless until you create a new file in that folder. Okay, here we have one more option, that is directory is recursive. Okay, so in order to show you that option, I have created this folder intentionally. So if you see here, new folder is created, right? For example, if I create a new file here, okay, let me create it from this file. Okay, so new file into new folder. I'm just so I'm saving this here. I'll put it as file 1. Click on save. Yeah, click on yes. Now you see here, see, new file into new folder. So that is what it has printed, right? You see the timestamp, it is like 50 seconds gap is there. Like whenever it found new file only, okay, so it pulled that information from that folder. Now if I save it, if I save one more file, so one more into new folder. Okay, I'll put it as file 2. Click on yes. Now you see it will print the newly added file in the subfolder. One more into new folder. So this is how, like, this recursive option is nothing but it will it will fetch the information from the sub recursive folders as well, or subfolders as well. Okay, so this is the one more option. Okay, now so we have enabled the watermark mode, right? For example, so what it is doing, it is in the background, it is saving the created timestamps. Okay, right? So where it is saving, for example, now if I go to mule and clear the application data. Okay, so now you'll get an issue. Why? I'll tell you. See, you got the issue, right? And for every 10 seconds you'll get this issue because the polling time is 10 seconds here, right? So because we are getting that because we have something called as object store, right? Okay, so whenever you enable this watermark mode, it creates an object store in the background. So I have copied the path where we can find that object store folder that is getting created. Okay, now I'll go to that folder, click on yes. Now you see there is nothing here, right? Because we have cleared the application, what is that, process data. Go to mule and this, yeah, sorry, application data, clear application data. Okay, so now we are getting these issues, right? So let me terminate this, clear this. So you see there is no object store folder here. Now If I run this thing, okay, now what happens whenever we have enabled that watermark mode and run the this file, so you'll see an object store folder gets created here. Let's wait for that. In the background, actually, in the background, it creates an object store folder. You see here, it has created right now temporary folder and also object store folder got created. Now here it considered till now, like on the go, like till now, uh, since the application got deployed, it considered every file as a new file, okay, and saved all the created timestamps inside this folder. Okay, we cannot see that, but I'm not sure if we can see that, because I have seen that these are in some different format. Okay, so but it saves all these created timestamps in this folder. Okay, and so that's why, see, it has saved for the first time, and it is not, though the polling is happening, it is not able to find any new file that got created. Okay, because it is a created timestamp, right? For example, if I click on save, sorry, if I create a new file, okay, so new file, uh, I'll put something like file 5, click on save. Now go to desktop, where is that? Yeah, this one. Let me save it here itself. I'll put it as, okay, file 6, click on save. Now this will be, because it compares actually. Okay, now you see here the content is file 5. Sorry for confusing you. Okay, so the content is file 5 and the file name is file 6. Okay, so as we have created it just now, it has printed, uh, because it's a newly created file. For example, now I'm going to modify this. Okay, like it's actually file 6. Okay, I'm saving this. Okay, it got saved here. Now ideally it won't consider this change, because it is always looking for a created timestamp based upon the created timestamp, right? So though you do some modifications, it won't consider that. So unless until you create a new file, for example, let me save as a new file. Okay. Okay. Hi guys, my previous recording got stopped automatically. Okay, so let me also finish this watermark mode in for modified timestamp. Okay, so now I have cleared everything inside this. Let me go to the folder which I have initially created. So this is the folder, right, which I have created and listening on to. Okay, now I have created one file. Okay, though we are searching for, though it is like modified timestamp, but when you see on a particular file, we'll have these all these things, right, like modified, created, accessed. Okay, so when you create a file, uh, it also will have the modified information, so that's why it considers it as a modified file. Okay, now I have created a file, okay, with nothing in the inside that. Okay, now let me put it as something like something. Okay, so I'm saving this. Now you see the modified timestamp got changed, right? Previously, okay, see, now it is like 142:39. Okay, so that means the modified timestamp got changed. Okay, click on cancel. Now let me, okay, it is for 143, right? Now let me add something. Okay, something more. Click on save. Now you see here, go to properties. The modified time stamp is, okay, like 143:07 seconds. Now you see, for all these three things, you'll see the changes one by one. Okay, so whenever, okay, and any file gets modified, okay, so it simply uh, grabs those changes and uh, it in, I mean, it prints the contents here. Okay, so you see here now the polling is happening, but it is not able to find any file modifications in this folder what we configured here. So this is how it works. Like when you enable the watermark mode, I mean, if it is disabled, this is of no effect, and if you keep either the created timestamp or modified timestamp, it works accordingly. Okay, and saves the information in the object store. Okay, so that we have seen here, right? This is where it stores the information, right? So if I click on this and delete this, click on delete. Okay, I think that is enough. Now we'll get the issues. See, so as this we have already seen. So this is how it works. So it saves the information in the object store. That as a reference, it will check for the new changes or new create uh, timestamps on the files. Okay, so this is how on your update file works when you enable the watermark mode and when you disable the watermark mode. And I hope you learned something out of this. Okay, and thank you so much for listening to my video. Thank you.